Hey everyone, and welcome to the Best of 3 Call of Duty Esports podcast. I'm your host, Josh. SalvationsElite to my right is Bash_Bo3, and to our farthest right, per usual, he's back. It's Rex Shady Nero.
A married man.
He is back, baby. Big shouts already, but my goodness, we got a lot to get into today. It's gonna be a spicy one. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun today. We're doing a dynasty draft, drafting the best young talent in Call of Duty, talking through the news of the week. And we've got some very spicy, like quick fire, rapid fire questions to hit at the end of the episode. And we're going head to head, trying to get some points too. So it's going to be a fun one. And I'm looking forward to it. Before we get any of that, guys, I got to ask, boys, what's going on?
Well, Josh, I am feeling really, quite honestly, discombobulated and as if my body has morphed into something I don't recognize anymore. I remember crawling through vents, flying through space, but it isn't what I'm seeing now.
Interesting.
What I'm seeing now is a trim beard, a balding head, and not nearly as tall. It's shocking. I'm shocked.
Wow, my goodness. You aren't holding shift over there, are you, Shady Nero?
Shift? That's who done it.
He did it.
My alter ego.
I know, he was the imposter last week. Obviously, we had a big shouts to Shift for filling in when we needed him the most, when our hero, Shady Nero, couldn't make it. But first of all, Rex, congrats, man, on the big day, the wedding, locking one down for the boys. Let's go.
Feels good. Comfortable life. I've been living with her for over a year and a half now, so it's nice to seal the deal,
making it official.
We're good.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Things we love to see. But yeah, man, like I said, we got a lot to get into today. Sam, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Hey,
yeah, rocking and rolling.
Another Monday in the books, another day of the off season. Rip.
My goodness, literally. I know, and we're still kind of in the roster mania lingers as we wait, but that's why these are fun, because we got some fun with the episode. So obviously you can listen to Apple Podcasts. You can watch on YouTube. You can drop a comment on YouTube. You can even, drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. You can listen on Spotify as well. And Sam, what do you got for us today, dude? How you doing over there with the reviews?
Josh, maybe one day. I don't think we have any review.
Oh my word. Well, then we know what the people got to do then. They got to drop that comment down below, or that review down below, because we read the reviews around here.
We do.
And no reviews is a travesty, but we appreciate those 5-star reviews a lot. Obviously, like I said, I think we can just get right into it.
Oh my word. You just peeked the mic there.
Oh man.
Is there any reason for the
no review?
Oh. Wow, we are discombobulated today. We're all over the place. That's we're getting the rust off after a week of no Shady Nero. We completely lost it. But all right, without further ado, I guess we can get into the news of the week and go through it all, baby. Let's get it.
The Call of Duty News of the Week.
News here.
We're back, baby.
We got the news of the week. Is Scraps retiring? Scraps put out another tweet.
I know, man.
Yesterday,
sucks.
I believe. Crazy to think probs won't compete again. Wow. Let's see what we can do with the content on Vanguard. Prayer hands.
Crazy, man.
So Scraps probably retiring, right? Not any debate there.
Yeah, probably, but I felt like there was at least a decent chance that Paris could potentially reach out to him. NRG squad or an expansion roster who's looking for a big personality in the scene like Scraps.
Do you think there's a reason they're not? Well, Paris just had Scraps.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, like, but if you're trying to put together another roster, I mean, I get the idea that why not just build a roster of amateurs and see what happens. Obviously, that's like a pretty solid strat at this point for them if they're trying to go that route. But like, I don't know, man. It's crazy that we're in a point right now where so many guys, like, where we've seen so many retirements this year already, and might be adding Scraps to the list because we only have 12 teams in the CDL.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say this: the stronger that these different like organizations, I guess, get like on social media, the less important a player's following and prominence is going to be, which I think might have been sort of the case with Paris, where it's like, how much return are they actually getting for having Scraps on their roster as opposed to just being a good team?
Well, that's true. They're not even making content anyway. So it's like, I mean, they're not really trying hard anyway in the content aspect. So, they're not probably capitalizing the best off of his following.
What do you guys think about like the pros that aren't giving it a go in the Challengers League? Like, do you think they think they're above the Challengers League, that's why they're not even willing to try? Or because, like, we do see like some pros who have gotten relegated.
I mean, they can tell themselves that, but if anything, I think it's out of fear, or they don't want to go through the grind. And like,
or they just see better opportunities with Warzone. I mean, that's not like that too far fetched of an idea at this point, considering how popular it's been, especially if the rumors are true about potential more competitive stuff this year with Warzone. So, I mean, that's the aspect there. I mean, obviously it comes down to how much they enjoy Warzone v Vanguard multiplayer, v competing in the amateur scene and what their connections are looking like and rosters. And, that's why it gets a little messy, but man, dude, it's just crazy. Another guy, if Scraps gets added to the list of guys who ends up retiring this year with like Looney and all these dudes who have
Donk
and Apathy, and so many guys, it's just crazy.
It's just a wild time for the guys that grew up with these guys. Like,
I know, man.
It's like, wow, we're already like at that turning point where it's like a new guard coming in.
I know. I've been working on like the history of COD content this week and like put out the first episode today. So it's like, seeing all of these guys, you're like, man, like Apathy is like, what? He's retired now. That sucks so bad. So we'll see, man. I hope they land on their feet with some like content and things work out for them, because that's much deserved.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Speaking of challengers, Silly will be competing in challengers next season with Mox, and they're looking for 2 subs.
Yeah, I mean, there was, questions of whether or not he was going to retire as well, or what was going to happen with that after kind of his rough offseason. And then with the whole team getting dropped from LAG and everything, like there was questions about whether or not he'd be able to find a team or not. So for him and Mox to be teaming, it'll be interesting to see who they end up teaming with. I mean, they can easily compete near the top of the CDL again with Mox, how much success he had last year. And then Silly is obviously a very competent player still. So yeah, we'll see.
Sorry, real quick question.
No, for sure.
Am I dumb? Have we heard anything from Assault?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, we haven't heard anything from like Assault. I mean, now we finally heard from Silly, and like we don't. I mean, I would imagine like with the other guys on LAG, obviously Apathy retired, and then Mental's probably gonna play in the amateur scene again.
I would think so. Yeah,
but it does get a little bit crazy.
Has there ever been a pro, or do you think there will be pros that kind of just like fade away and just sort of disappear? Like, we haven't heard anything about Assault. Do you think there's a world where it's just like he deletes his Twitter account and he just becomes
like
whatever
Dylan COD?
I mean, Dylan did that.
I did.
And they just kind of like
disappeared.
become regular people.
I mean, yeah, it's very possible. I mean, to be fair, like a guy like Aches, Aches has, he's done nothing the past like 6 months probably.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But he still comments. He's still around.
For sure. And he still has opinions about Call of Duty and things like that on Twitter and stuff, for sure. I mean, like Dylan would be the biggest example of a guy who like literally just disappeared. But yeah, I mean, realistically, that could happen. That's kind of what Big T sort of did for a while there after he retired back in the day. Yeah. Like in Ghost, he just kind of was like, I'm going to do stocks. Like, that's what I want to do. And then he just didn't do anything online for like a year. So we could probably see more of that, I'd imagine, now moving forward. But there are so many opportunities with content now, and it becomes a lot easier for pros to kind of transition that way, considering they're such talented gamers. Like, why not give it a go in Vanguard and streaming, things like that, But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
True.
Subliners. They welcome back Revan as their head coach, which I think good decisions.
Yeah. I mean, because I think all of us were a little surprised, like when they originally announced that he wasn't returning. We're like, what? Like, what?
Very strange.
Why wouldn't you bring him back? He's been so good for him. The team was obviously completely overperformed last year, and you have probably Clay returning. Like, that's weird. So it makes sense that he's back now. I think he's just a good voice in the room, and then like he's a good manager, and I think he knows Call of Duty. So I think it's a win-win-win all around.
Fellow, I guess there was kind of a weird thing that happened, but he never got like a thank you tweet on Twitter about, you know, him being on the team. He didn't know if he's still on the team, if he's being let go.
Yeah, this was freaking
so
weird.
He talked about it on stream. Then he sort of tweeted that, you know, sorry.
He sort of backtracked it almost. Like, it was weird because, like you said, when he was streaming, it was like, yeah, I've heard nothing. Like, I don't even know if I don't think I'm on Dallas, but I've heard nothing. And then he tweeted, what did he tweet? Wanted to clear up some stuff. First off, Empire treated me nothing short of great over the last year. As far as the send-off, there was some miscommunication on future opportunities that still need to be decided upon. Nothing but love from my corner at Dallas Empire. So, like, it felt like a big, like, oh, ew, never mind.
Yeah.
I just got told something. Like,
Yeah. No, it's just strange. Like, I don't know if you'd like put the fault on him or put the fault on the org. Like, but like at the same time, like if like one of your players like doesn't know what's going on, that's pretty poor communication.
yeah. I mean,
Here's
on the
the
org
thing,
side.
though.
does it stem from the OpTic stuff?
It could be.
Probably, but like this happens all the time. It feels like there's always some tweet where and always some sort of things like they have no idea for months and months what's going on. Like at some point, are we to think that this might be the fault of, you know, nothing against Fellow, but the players just not like reading something carefully? Or
I mean, like, you mean like what happened with like the whole OpTic phase host thing back in the day, like during the season?
yeah, just like weird little things that just don't happen. I feel like in most professional settings, they're just like weird miscommunications. They feel like shouldn't be happening, but they somehow do. And it's very almost amateur-esque.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought would be this has to do with OpTic acquisition or the merge with Dallas. I mean, realistically, the most reasonable outcome here is that Dallas doesn't know if Vivid's going to get bought out yet or what that situation is going to look like to him. And so they probably want Fellow to stay around if he does get bought out. So
Yeah.
I'd imagine that's what's happening here and probably what Fellow's talking about with maybe the potential exciting news that he could have or the miscommunication on future opportunities that still needs to be decided upon. That sounds like, oh, Vivid might be here. I don't know. And then that kind of how it ends up, that could be how it ends up playing out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, at this point, do we expect Vivid to be bought out? What would you put the over-under on with Vivid being bought out?
Well, let's see.
I just feel like
Paris.
if
and
I
Chicago
don't think
spot.
I think they're going to keep him, honestly, just like as a sub.
And then maybe a mid-season situation
I
with
think
like
so.
Florida or another
Yeah.
team?
Because like especially with like, I don't know, maybe they do have concerns with how this rumored starting roster will be. You know, like we talked about, like, kind of with like
Rumored.
rumored. Illy and Dash, you can like, you know, play together. It's like, you know, maybe they're just gonna
Right.
kind of wait and just kind of see how it all shakes up. But at the same time, maybe like a team like Paris wants Vivid on their team, or maybe Vivid wants to be the star of a team, like Paris, or like the NRG spot too. So
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though Vivid really isn't that horrible of a substitute to have in your in your
he's
pocket.
phenomenal.
Well,
Like-
he'd be the best. He's the best player who's currently not on a roster by
Mhm.
far, I would say. It's not even close.
Yeah, so you'd think they would try and keep him.
But like if you can get a bag for him, then it's like any organization would be dumb not to. I mean, at that point, you know, heading into a year,
Yeah.
especially when you have that starting four where you're hoping that 4 works out where you don't have to bench any of those
But
guys.
You can't count on that with that 4, though, I feel like.
I mean, I feel like you could count on it. I mean, especially considering considering Vivid's an SMG, which means that either Shotzi or Scump.
I mean,
they're
that's
gonna-
that was my biggest issue. Is like that's the only thing. It's like you're definitely not going to be probably taking Shotzi out at any point,
And you're definitely not taking Scump out unless he retires.
So you'd want someone who could be an AR. Vivid could probably flex though.
Unless
I think
it's like-
he has.
It could be like a 3 sub meta too, and it's like you want like a strong third sub.
I mean, that would be the only debate is if they're waiting to figure out what the meta is going to be, which is possible, I guess.
Yeah.
That's possible, but seems unlikely. But I don't know. We'll have to see.
Either way, Josh, you want to take this next one? Mindfreak announcing their roster.
Oh, I mean, it wasn't any big news. Basically, Mindfreak just put out their tweet that they were already signing their roster for this season for the amateur scene for challengers with the legend Man of Chicken, Osprey, and so the literal goats here. But we'll see what happens. It wasn't really any big news, but I thought it was worth mentioning considering they already put out their roster. But yeah,
it is cool to see them trying to maintain their Call of Duty scene. I think it's it would be easy to not try to. It'd be easy to fall out of the scene pretty fast, but I don't know. I love it when orgs stay around that we've been seen around for quite some time now. So
yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, so the roster is Osprey, Man of Chicken, James JRH or JHR, and then Alcazar. So that's the squad of 4. The legend Man of Chicken. Best name in the CDL or in Call of Duty, undoubtedly.
someone
I
in the
hope it
comments
makes it to the pro league.
Someone in the comments said, "I would love to see Man of Chicken and City of New York +2 as a team."
Yeah,
wasn't City of New York the Japan or the
yes?
Who was that guy? I swear it was in that
it was the Japan
clip.
League. It was the
I think
Japan
so.
League.
Yeah, that'd be so
legendary.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
but yeah.
Okay,
Fire.
here's another one. Kraken versus the Mutineers beef. So the Seattle
Spice.
Kraken.
Yeah, the NHL
Sports.
team.
Okay, it's an NHL team. Seattle Kraken has the
There's a new
hashtag
NHL
Fear the Deep. Florida Mutineers, if their tweet that used hashtag Fear the Deep gets more total likes than our tweets over time, they'll steal the hashtag and Twitter will add Seattle's logo at the end. We aren't going to let that happen. Hashtag Fear the Deep.
Yeah, well, it is whack. I mean, obviously the Mutineers outdate the Kraken because the Kraken are the new NHL team.
Mm-hmm.
And so for them to literally come out here and try to use the Fear the Deep hashtag right off the rip, that's kind of lame.
that's bold.
That's bold. And I don't know. It kind of rubs me the wrong way, even though they are in different technical esports or whatever, the esports versus NHL. They're not really in the same situation or anything, but I don't know. What do you think?
I don't really care. but
Nice.
I mean, I would hope Mutineers would be able to keep it. I feel like they're just so just separate entities that it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I get that. It was just weird that they, as if they didn't even acknowledge it. They just went for it. I don't know. It's just weird to me. You wouldn't even acknowledge it or anything.
It's probably some
maybe they didn't even know
6-year-old
about
guy
it. It's
who
possible.
just made it.
Yeah, it's
He's
possible.
hey, he probably just saw on Call of
This
Duty
one's
Twitter.
pretty sweet.
Fear the Deep. Let's just take it.
Dude, yeah.
You almost wonder now that now that there's been beef, both sides are not going to stand down. So it's gonna be just infamy of
Right. Well, that's my
NHL.
thought. It's
I don't know.
it's always that. Did they know that the Mutineers existed? And then did they just who cares? Fire away. They're not going to get in our way. We're the NHL.
Yeah,
or
who knows?
did they just, was it oblivious? But it feels too on the nose to be oblivious.
How many followers do NHL teams get?
Well, right now they got 302,000 followers.
Oh, so you're okay.
Yeah. So they're outranking the Mutineers. So the Mutineers are sitting at 72,000.
just slightly
more. And then Seattle hasn't played.
David versus Goliath, baby.
And Seattle hasn't played a game yet.
Yeah.
Wow,
I don't think so, at least.
impressive.
No, yeah. I don't think they've played a game yet. I'm by no means an NHL expert around here, but
Mhm.
hey, you know how it goes.
Hockey pucks and such.
Oh, of course. What else we got, Rex?
Warzone. Unconfirmed reports from Warzone
Bro.
and Black Ops leaks. Warzone is getting a ranked mode with the release of Vanguard.
If that happens, I'm telling you right now, if this I'm looking straight dead at the camera here. If this happens, I am losing full. I am going to lose absolute full. If Vanguard has a literal like elo based system for Warzone and then doesn't have one for multiplayer, I am going to lose my mind.
That would actually be really tilting.
I would be mind blown.
I mean, like, I guess for me, I just assumed it was going to come at some point, but I see what you're saying where it's like, if the timing of it is
Before?
this before Vanguard, because, you know, like, you know, you've got Apex with like your Apex Predator ranking. You've got, I'm pretty sure doesn't Fortnite have?
Yeah, Fortnite.
Have a ranked?
They all
obviously
do,
BRs
pretty
do, but
much.
like every esport has a freaking like league play system, ranked play system. Like they've been waiting on that for a decade, you know? So
Mhm.
I mean,
no,
they've got to come out with it, right?
Right.
Like,
I feel like if they're going to do it with Warzone, it's going to be like this like dual thing. Like, all right, Warzone and League play coming out this date. Unless
If
they
they
really want to just
don't-
screw us over and be like,
oh my.
we'll announce multiplayer later,
Dude.
but then here's
Do you know
Warzone.
How helpless, like, it's just, you just feel so helpless in the face of this whole, like, are they going to put ranked play in or not? You get super mad, but you're like, but they don't care. Like, there's nothing I can do that's just going to change this.
We can
It's
shout
just-
from the best of 3 podcast all we want, but
Yeah, exactly.
change.
I mean, I don't know if Vonderhaar replied to me last year. That was nice.
Oh, I
It didn't
forgot
do
about that.
anything.
He did.
It didn't help the situation, and nothing ended up getting changed. But
Oh, gosh.
I mean, like at least he told Scump that he got him, or like he had him, or what did he say? Something along the
He
lines
said,
like,
like,
I got you.
let me change that for you.
Yeah, like I got you. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Like trust us. And that worked out
Mhm.
good. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I said, it's hard to say exactly. This leaker's been pretty prominent. Like he's been decent. So we'll see what happens.
Pretty
in the
trustworthy.
future. He's been solid. Not bad. So we'll see what happens. I would say it's fairly likely that it means Warzone's getting a rank play.
Mhm.
But
Well, within Call of Duty League Champs tradition, or I guess it's supposed to be tradition, Atlanta FaZe team has been added to Verdansk.
yeah, shout out Warzone again. There you go. There's something they did right. It is funny that it's on like a broken stadium though. And then it's like they got their banners hanging there. I thought that was funny. I guess the last 2 pieces of news here, Mario was spotted at the Hex quarters. Now this is big news.
It's me, Mario.
We had Mario spotted at the Hex quarters, folks.
Oh boy.
Unreal, legendary, truly. I mean, what do you think, Mario, Luigi,
Chris
the
Pratt?
He's
duo?
actually an Italian plumber.
Chris
That's
Pratt?
So great.
Insane. What? Obviously, it was just a backstory here. If everyone's really confused, Pitch made a joke. They were talking about Shotzi, the Hex quarters, and he's like, "Nah, man, it was Mario."
just an Italian plumber.
Yeah, man,
Yeah, I think he said, yeah.
Italian plumber. So
Mhm.
it is what it is. And then
Yeah,
Fire
LA
away, Rex,
Thieves.
fire away, yeah,
LA
LA
Thieves. They had on their podcast, Envoy and Octane said that they think OpTic Dallas is going to have a lot of the same issues that they had last year.
yeah, what do you think, Rex?
I kind of agree.
Spicy things you love to see from LA Thieves.
They even talked about sort of like the leadership thing as well. And where I guess Scump is like the only person that you could see sort of step into that role. But I think traditionally Scump, like that just hasn't really happened when that's been like the thing with Scump's team.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely talked about this a lot, though. I mean, we've had a lot of conversations directly about the OpTic and the communication, the potential leadership, and all of those things possibly being an issue for them. I would say most OpTic fans don't see it that way. Like, or Dallas fans see that Illy could step up and be an in-game leader and make calls.
I
I
agree.
still think that Shotzi could get to that point. I mean, at this point, he's probably a pretty confident player. He's played with Krim and Clay for 2 years. I'd imagine that he has something in his bag when it comes to like communication and thinking big picture. But I mean, I do get the argument though. I mean, realistically, it is hard to exactly say who in game is going to be that guy, consistently calling out spawns and having like keeping the teamwork in mind and coordinating that type of stuff. And generally, Scump hasn't been that player in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I definitely do concur with like, I think similar problems will happen, but I'm just curious how like the meshing of Shotzi and Scump, you've got two pretty big powerhouses there. How much Illy's willing to kind of sacrifice for himself, and Dashy, I know there was that kind of like, I think we talked about like last week, that like stat where every AR Dashy's played with has had like their like worst year.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like I hope that doesn't happen here, and I think if Dashy can learn to play with Illy, and I don't know, but I am nervous. I know I've said it before. Like I'm nervous for the roster. I hope it does work out, but
yeah. Well, Envoy. I'm sorry, Envoy.
No, yeah, you're good.
It's like on the flank talked about how on OpTic, like they lacked kind of like the playmaking individually, like we're doing this, like let's hit this thing, like let's hit this flank, let's make this route. Where he felt like he was the only one making those calls, and Formal, Dashy, and Scump weren't doing enough individual play calling to like they were relying on him to make those calls when he feels like it should be more collective. Like when one player feels something, they should call it for the squad and make it happen. And I think, Toronto
that
really,
makes
really good
a
at that.
lot of sense, especially like seeing how Envoy is playing. You always knew he was like the only one doing these different things.
That thing, yeah.
And sometimes it would fail miserably, and I bet he was so frustrated. Just as like, everyone's kind of blaming him for throwing his life away, but like he's thinking other people are supposed to be doing that too.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that.
So, I mean, like, I think that mindset does fit in pretty well with how like Octane or Kenny or Draza want to play COD. So I think in that sense, like that makes sense with that roster where all of those guys are definitely like, I'm feeling this. Let's make the play. They're very confident players in that regard with that we're willing to do something like that. So we'll see what happens with OpTic. I mean, Illy's been that guy for him though in the past 2 years for Dallas. So, we'll see what happens with their teamwork and communication heading into rounds. I guess it's really going to be interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's kind of the end of the news here, boys. So off the rip here, I think we can get into our big segment of the day, which is our Dynasty Draft. All right. And basically how it's going to go. Pretty straightforward. We're going to be drafting the best players in Call of Duty in like a perspective of a long-term perspective. So I think we can hit the drop and we can get into it and talk a little bit more afterwards. So let's get into it, baby. Let's go. Oh, baby. All right. So we are off. So this, again, Dynasty Draft, pretty straightforward. We're taking the best young talent in CDL. I think we can kind of frame it like we're drafting as if these guys have to be on our roster for the next, let's say, 5 years. I don't know if how do you want to play with like potential retirees, like a Scump or a Clayster or Krim? What's your thought on that? We really didn't discuss this going into it.
I mean, I feel like you have to estimate, in your own mind what their longevity is going to be.
Okay.
From
all right.
right now.
I'm down.
I think, because like I'm okay with like leaving them in, but I feel like it should reflect if we do like a poll where it's like, who's like the best. Hopefully people like understand like, okay, if someone chose to have Prim on their team, let's say, chances of him competing in 5 years is pretty low.
Yeah, so, that's fair. Okay. I'm down. I'm down.
Okay with it. And like the punishment should be like you just get roasted if you pick someone that shouldn't be on the team.
Fair. I'm down. So I mean, realistically, again, like, yeah, so it'll come down to how you weigh, like, let's say a guy like Scump, like, okay, what if he plays for 2 more years,
Mm-hmm.
How much does that weigh for you in a draft? Is he worthy of getting drafted over like a maybe younger, less talented player like a Vivid or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Or, someone along those lines, or Bance maybe. I don't know how you feel about that, but all right. With that said, kind of the framework there. I mean, congrats, Sam. You get the first pick. We'll do a snake draft and we'll just kind of go like Sam Rex me and we'll do a snake draft. So you get the 101, Sammy. Who you taking?
Oh, give me Simp.
Yeah. No surprise there. Oh, I've got the draft board here, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen.
Give them to me.
All right. Okay. Sam's locked in Simp. Rex, I'll be interested to see which way you go with this pick. I think you could go a lot of different ways here.
Shotzzy.
Very interesting. Okay. That's fair. There are some other SMGs there, though, or some other guys that you could have potentially gone with. I'm actually a little surprised.
Abeezy? That's like the only other 3?
Yeah, sure, yeah. I'm going to go Abeezy, obviously, with one of my 2. Then the next one's pretty interesting
It
because
is. Where do you go?
you get starting 4 and then you got 3 guys to sub in as you will.
Perfect.
So, with that said,
Which could be interesting because it's like, do you pick up Scump? Maybe he retires in 2 years, then you bring in like a sub.
yeah,
You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
that's kind of, yeah. So
Mhm.
it does increase the argument for the older players, I think. Wow.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Where are you going
Okay.
here, Josh?
I don't know. I feel like you really can't go wrong here, I don't think. Which is, that's the fun of it. But I feel like I'm going to go the route that I think people would assume I would go. I'm going to go Beezy and I'm going to go Celium and just take the phase little duo here.
Wow.
Rock and roll, lock in a long-term SMG and a long-term flex at a premium and go from there. So Rex, you're on the board. You got Shotzi. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm also going to pick up the 4th player on phase, which is Arcides.
Oh,
Really?
interesting.
I got a top tier AR, got a top
okay.
tier sub.
I was a little surprised there, actually. I
See,
feel like
that's interesting. I feel like even you, Josh, I feel like that's interesting. Like not picking up like
oh,
going
I know.
hard for the SMGs.
I left a few SMGs on the board here, Sam, for you.
I know. And like I'm contemplating picking up this guy, and I wonder if this will be a hot take or not. But I think this guy could be a future star and
Yeah.
showed some promise. I'm gonna go with Afro.
Whoa!
Good
Spicy.
choice. Good choices.
Yo, wait, that's actually the hottest of hot takes, though, with the
You
guys
think
who are
so?
left on the board. With the guys who are left on the board.
I don't know, dude. I am all in on Afro, and I think he's gonna
Wow.
be disgusting.
Oh my word.
And so if I'm playing this long term, Afro's my guy.
Jeez, that
Yeah.
was spicy hot. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you got one more pick.
I do. I gotta do some contemplating here.
Some soul searching.
Do I want to try to hit more SMGs, or do I want to try to get a top tier AR? Who I think,
I mean, right now you got you got 2 SMGs on your team,
Mhm.
Simp and Afro.
here's
Or
where
like
I'm gonna
maybe, okay, yeah.
go. Here's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pick an AR, and I
Interesting.
think this guy is gonna be perfect for my team. Who again just started out, already in talks of rookie of the year. Who never really got one. So
Yeah, I mean, I'd
Insight's
imagine
my
you're,
guy.
yeah. I mean, if you're getting Afro, you may as well go Insight. You
Yeah.
know, get that European action.
Mhm.
That's crazy. That Afro pick was spicy hot. That was coming in spicy. All right, Rex.
Hydra.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe he got you. Well, I thought you'd go Hydra in a second.
My team is looking nasty right now. Shotzi, Arcides, Hydra.
I thought you'd for sure you go Hydra in a second there. I was shocked.
I'm a man
Well-
of hot takes. What can I say?
Yeah, I didn't think that's interesting. I wasn't thinking that this guy would get back to me. Well, there's 2 talented players that I feel like I have to take, but I already have a flex. Obviously, the guy I'm thinking about is Cammy here. This isn't my true pick, but like I already have Celium, so I don't know if I can take Cammy. I'm surprised he got to me here at the
Yeah,
third,
what you gonna
4th
do?
turn.
Well, are you taking into consideration like European, like with NA players?
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. Like, obviously, I'm definitely considering that. Okay, well, I'll go the one guy who I'm for sure taking, and I mean this is no surprise. This is Standy. I mean, I'm taking Standy on the 3-4 turn. Feel really good about that as a dynasty draft pick. I mean, that's about as good as it gets there. And see, there's a few guys where I'm not sure if they're going to get back to me or not. And there's that, we got 2 ARs off the board already. So you've already got your ARs. You guys are looking for a potential flex. Both of you are looking for a flex. So, I mean, I think both of you would be pretty sad if I took Cammy here. Also, one of you is going to take Draza here because y'all are dumb. So I'm wondering if...
I thought about picking him second.
Yeah,
see,
I know
see
you
what
did.
guys-
I knew you were. That's why I'm saying. I don't know. I'm a little torn here. So my thought process is who's for sure not going to get back to me. The one player who I don't know if I want to risk, and he's another valuable flex AR who I think just pairs too well with this team. The personalities I have on the squad right here. I know you guys aren't going to. I know you guys might not take him, but like I'm going to go Dashy with the 4th pick here as my main AR. and do a BZ selling him Standy Dashy? Oh
I
my
was thinking about
goodness.
taking Dash in.
That
That's a
is
horrible team.
disgusting,
Horrible
baby.
team.
Jeez. So this is where we're at right now after a few rounds on the board here, boys. A BZ Celium Standy Dashy. I mean, lock me in as the dub with the dub and see what happens. Rex, who you have? Who you thinking here?
Cammy, I'll take the MVP.
Yeah, that's
Shotzi, Arcides, Hydra, Cammy.
I mean, yeah, that was a pretty obvious pick for you there. If you already had Hydra 2, you got a European, Shotzi, Arcides, Hydra, Cammy. That's a nice team for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice team.
That's a team that can work together right there.
Yeah, I mean, my thing was like Dashy and Celium already have that connection. Like, realistically, that's why I feel like my team Dashy fit better with that squad.
I don't know, Josh. Your team's a lot.
I know, but I agree with you, Josh. I feel like Dashy does fit better with that squad.
Yeah, with that team's insane.
Does he though?
What?
I think he does.
Who's your IGL?
All of the Celium. The dude's a freak.
The dude's
Danny's
a
got
weirdo.
great comms.
I think
Danny's got great
Standy's
comms.
probably your IGL or Dashy if Dashy
And
on
we're
his
only
own.
4 rounds in here, boys. So we got a long time to go.
We are.
So Sam, who you thinking here?
Guys.
You're looking for a flex.
I am.
Who comes to mind?
Draza comes to mind.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
shocker.
Illy comes to mind.
Interesting. Yep. In a dynasty draft, he's still a young blood
Mhm.
for sure.
Yep. I'm contemplating taking a slightly older guy here. Maybe. I don't know. Do I want to get a good 2 years out of or 3 years out of an
Yeah,
older guy and then sub someone in, you know?
that's fair. Yeah,
What's the play here, boys?
I'm interested.
I mean, if you're not taking Draza, I am.
So thoughts?
Just gonna be honest.
This is a podcast.
It is a podcast. I'm torn here, boys. I'm picking Draza, my man Draza.
Yeah, I mean, at this point for you, you know,
Yeah.
Mr. A-tier
Absolutely.
player. Now you got your 5th. You're the first one to take a substitute here, / your 5th guy. And again, there's a lot of different arguments here where like we're looking at a 5-year period, maybe longer. You could even argue for a dynasty, you know? So it's like, there's a lot of different ways to go here.
Are we considering AMs like challenger players?
If you wanted to take one, you easily could.
Just curious.
Yeah.
You know who I have confidence in?
I would love to hear it.
I have confidence in Envoy.
Yeah.
I think he'd make a great sub because, you know, he didn't have the greatest year this year.
I was wondering if he'd slip back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good pick there, Sam. He was
think-
he was under my radar, that's for sure.
I think he's gonna be a great sub because
Yeah.
I think he's for sure gonna be competing for the next 5 years, definitely. And if you know, let's say that for some crazy wild reason that my hot take doesn't work out, Afro, you know, which
he'll fill right in. Yeah.
he'll feel right in.
Definitely.
But Afro, dude, my team is disgusting. Think about it.
I mean, Afro
all
is
these
a
guys,
spicy take.
all these guys want it so bad. Like, oh man.
I
Josh,
feel
your
like Afro
team,
would have got back to you.
Josh, your team Dashy, you know, he might go off on his own a little bit.
What?
Celium doesn't really want to vibe with Dashy.
One thing's for sure is I'm not losing a gunfight. That is guaranteed right now. And we're still going. Okay, so there's still a long way to go here.
Yeah.
All right, Rex, who you thinking here?
All right, so I'm thinking about right now my squad as it stands. Shotzi, Arceus, Hydra, Cammy is super solid. I really don't have a lot of issues.
Yeah, it's solid.
The issues that I'm going to try and foresee is coming from, I think, Cammy, where if anybody's out of place, he might be the one that's going to need some sort of, you know, encouragement or something.
Okay.
Somebody who can play with him if my core 4 aren't working out.
So what do you think?
And for that reason, this is going to come as a shock. I'm going to be taking Bance.
Wow.
Whoa.
Let me
That
explain.
Holy.
That's spicier than my
Again,
team.
so right
That's spicier than
now,
Afro.
Shotzi, Arceus, Hydra, Cammy. Cammy is sort of my little bit of an outlier. If we're talking like just social, just how the social dynamics are going to work, Cammy might be the most like.
I think Hydra's your outcast for social.
No, just because Hydra, I think, has been already initiated with Clayster and all
you
that.
may as well
He's
take
kind
Clay.
of, I've thought about it, but I thought about it, but the thing is, Clay is going to be more helpful for Hydra, RC, Shotzi, but those three can already like kind of lean on each other, whereas I think Cammy is more of a lone tree here. So I'm bringing in Bance, who can be a leadership to Shotzi, RC's Hydra, but also he can do it for Cammy as well. So I'm like kind of killing two birds with one stone, but really focusing more on the Cammy side of things.
You're high on Bance. That is,
and plus Bance is a great player. Bance is a great player too. I can substitute him in and feel confident he's going to do the job right.
Well, I can't believe this guy fell to me. I mean, I have to take Kleenex at this point. This is insane. Like, I thought there was no chance he'd get to me. Zero chance. But with the SMGs there, I mean, that's wild. I'm snagging Kleenex. Get in the squad, baby. And just another reason why I'm winning the vote.
What if Kleenex, what if he gets pulled out of Toronto Ultra and he's just not that guy?
Says the guy who drafted Afro?
Bro, Afro is just going to dominate next year.
Afro
don't
hopes
even
he's
get me,
Kleenex.
Oh, don't even get me started. Do you see Afro? He was a tasty treat on the London Royal Ravens.
I mean,
even when they subbed in Alex.
I agree. But I mean, again, he's hoping to be. I mean, Kleenex is already there though. Like Afro's hoping that he can do a full season of what Kleenex just did. Like Kleenex is legitimately
this is what's happening here. Player. I am investing $10 and my return next year is literally going to be $1 million because my team is just that much better.
But you bought him low at a premium price though. You spent $1 million to get $1 million.
No, that's not what I did.
You spent a second rounder on him.
But somebody was going to. I mean, if I wasn't getting Hydra, I was probably taking Afro.
Over Standy?
Over Standy.
You're higher on Standy than all of us.
You were super high in Standy.
I'm super high on Standy? Oh, you mean like one of the best players in CDL last year?
Give Standy this. Standy was really great. I think he also has some leadership potential in him that hasn't been realized yet.
Definitely.
I think he could be a great leader in the next few years.
I agree. He's great. Okay. So, if we're still looking for a little bit more slaying upside, I have Dashy as like a flex main AR, but I don't have a true main AR. And again, if we're looking for talent mixed with still youth and a lot of slaying potential, I'm looking either Octane or Skies here as kind of like one of those guys. Young. I mean, Octane's on the older side, but I could still see him playing for upwards of 3, 4, 5 years still, even though he's one of the 10 oldest pros in the league right now. And he's nasty, but Skies is younger and I think is still really, really good. So I'm going to snag Skies here as kind of like a true main AR for the squad. And he can play with anybody. He's good vibes. He's talented. He's nasty. He can fry. You got to get Skies on the roster.
So it's my turn?
Oh, it's your turn, baby.
Oh, I can't believe I've been allowed to do this. So my roster, Shotzi, RC's, Hydra, Cammy, Bance. I've already explained the Bance side of things. I won't go over that again. Just to round it off, I'm going to throw Clayster on my team.
Yeah.
I think for obvious reasons, I have two leaderships that are that represent, the two powerhouses of the Call of Duty scene, Europe and North America. They're probably the best leaders for each individual region. I have players from both regions on my teams who are astounding players. Mixed with that leadership, this is an unstoppable team.
Yeah. I mean, that's a solid team. It's top 3.
It's number one.
You have a third, fourth team, Yeah,
it's decent. It's fine. It gets the job done. Sam?
Here's a guy.
How's your third place team?
You want to know how my top 1 team is doing? We're doing phenomenal. In fact, we're having a team dinner because everyone wants it that bad that they want to be together.
Oh, you're getting Zinni to cook. I see.
Should I pick methods for a team
as a
cook?
chef?
Oh,
for the vibes.
The Zinster.
That is absolute vibes. Here's a guy that I think has a potential to grow tremendously. But I don't think people are very high on him right now. Very young player.
Okay.
My man Neptune.
Yep.
True.
I was interested to see where he'd fall.
True.
He definitely deserves to get drafted for sure.
I think so. Here's a fun
Untapped
side note.
potential.
Side note is I almost wonder if like this year doesn't go, you know, how he would want it
Neptune
to.
could also end up being playing Halo.
Yeah, like there's a strong chance that he plays Halo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's stronger
You know?
than basically any other pro who's currently on a roster. That's for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, if things don't work out, if let's say that New York is just terrible, and like,
Mhm.
what happened? He gets benched like Hook,
Yeah.
and then suddenly he's like, "Well, what do I do now? Like,
Exactly.
do I
And
play
they have, like,
challengers, or do I just like, yo, Halo's gonna offer me a contract? Like, let's
Mhm.
do it. It's possible.
Absolutely.
It's not the
It's-
craziest thing ever.
It's not. So that's why he's a sub, because
Yep.
I'm a little iffy. Now in terms of my last guy, you know, do I go for vibes or do I go for a potential up and comer from the AM scene? I kind of do like that option
That is
of like
interesting.
of just a super like out there risk.
Yeah, take your mental pick from last year.
I truly thought it, you know, I think okay.
I mean,
He was put-
you
he
know,
was put in
who
a tough
knows? It
spot.
could still work out.
He was put in a tough spot. I
He
think he
was.
still has potential.
No, for sure,
but
for sure.
It very much did not look very good for him.
I mean, there's still some insanely great picks left.
Oh, there
like,
is.
when there's only 3 of us and we're
I
picking like
know.
18 COD pros or 21 COD pros, like there's so many freaking great players to choose from
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, there's
It's nuts.
there's league starters that would be a great pick.
And yeah, literally.
You know
There's
what? No,
championship caliber players all over the board here.
I'm going to pivot here a little bit. I'm going to take Hugh.
Mm.
Interesting.
I think he's got a lot, obviously, like a ton of life left in him. And I think he's on a redemption arc. You know,
Yeah.
And I'm here for that arc. So
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah, no, I agree. I love it. Fair play, Rex. You're on the board, man.
My team, so Shotzi, Arcides,
Oh,
Hydra,
yep.
Cammy,
Show that to
Bance,
the YouTube
and
folk.
Clayster. I've already gone over just the leadership power that I have,
Of
being
course.
established in both regions. I have a star-studded cast of Shotzi, Arcides, Hydra, Cammy as my starters.
Absolutely.
Rex,
What
you need,
we're
you
looking
need a
for
young
here.
sub. You need a young sub.
I don't, though.
You
I
do.
don't. What I really need is somebody who can, you know, where we're most like, I guess, sketchy is in
Yeah.
the flex AR range of things, because I do have
Interesting.
2 older players that are
Hydra snaps his wrist. What happens?
I mean, we have Bance going in. Cammy
He's
switches to
24
where
years
Hydra is
old.
playing, and I have Clayster playing AR. Arcides goes to flex. It's still a pretty decent team. But I'm trying to, so the question I'm trying to answer to is like, if there's a weak spot, it's in that flex AR range of things. And because of that, and since it's my last pick, this is where we take our gambles, right? This is where we pick that one person that is could possibly be that seed for us that could just round everything out, which is Illy. Illy has been left alone. He's a young gun. No one took Illy,
Interesting.
right?
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, that's a fair pick.
It's Illy.
I just-
Illy is sitting in
You
that
surprised
mid-range.
me
He
because I
has
didn't
that
see him
leadership
as a
potential.
risk. I was like,
Yeah.
you're setting it up like you're gonna take.
Well,
like
I
an
kind of
amateur
see
player.
it as a risk because this is my last pick. So it's
Okay,
like
okay.
I have to
Yeah,
make
yeah.
it like a really
There's
good
a
one. But I
lot.
think
Yeah, for
Illy
sure.
fits that bill perfectly where he plays and like he can be the leader, but he also can be your young gun. He's going to be around for a while. He can play a sub, despite what we might have seen in Cold War. And he can also play that AR/flex role. I think he fits
Yeah.
the bill
Also, I don't
exactly what
think
my
you're-
team needs.
I don't think your team was lacking in an AR/flex.
It wasn't.
Well,
I'm not,
to be
my
fair,
team
Illy's
wasn't
versatile.
Yeah,
He can play
my
all the-
team
he can
wasn't
play flex or
lacking in
SMG.
anything. It's just I'm trying to figure out where there is going to be a problem. You know, I see Shotzi and Hydra as like, they're just not going to be an issue for a long time.
I'm
more
severely
likely,
lacking in AR.
more than maybe
Huh.
RCs or Cammy might end up being for me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's crazy how many good players there are. Obviously, you know, I would imagine a lot of Scump fans are out there like, yo, take Scump. The problem is that there's a very high chance that this is his last season playing Call of Duty. And so like that's why I'm just hesitant to take Scump, because I really think this might be his last year. Otherwise, you know, you're looking like a Tatch, or like do you go like how long does Crim play? How long does Octane play? And like Kenny, really, really good option. Ace him. Priesta,
Kenny was on my list. I almost wanted Kenny.
Mac. Yeah. I'm tempted to go the full on. My last pick, the full on. We're playing for the Hail Marys here. We're playing for the Sib or Pred route.
Nasty.
Right here. I mean, I'm tempted by both. I have Dashy and Celium already, so I have two really, really good flexes where I've got a BZ Standy and Kleenex, so I've got three really good SMGs, and then I've got, Dashy who can play AR, Sky's AR. So I can kind of go any way here. And I feel like I'm just going to go on the full on hope that this guy's Hydra. I'm going to go Pred with the final pick of the draft, Mr. Irrelevant. And take my risk with the potential Dynasty first year COD Pro and see what happens. Because, if we would have taken Hydra as our last pick of the draft last year, suddenly now he's a first 3-round pick. So you never know. So I'll take the flyer there.
Respect. Should we go through all of our teams again?
Yeah, for the audio listeners out there.
Okay,
Fire away, Sam.
So team number 1, COD Champs winners here. Simp, my man Afro. Oh my word. Insight. Can you believe I got those 3? Draza as round out my 4th. Envoy, Neptune, and Huke as subs. Wow.
Unreal. What third place team, Rex? What's your second place team?
So my ultimate dynasty, the creme de la creme, Shotzi, Arcides, Hydra, Cammy, Bance, Clayster, and Illy. That is a well-rounded team that has very little holes.
That's a fun team.
That's nice. That's so nice.
That's a nice little squad you got there.
And now, the legends, the soon-to-be Call of Duty GOATs. We got a BZ, Celium, Standy, Dashy, Kleenex, Skies, Pred. Oh my goodness, unstoppable. What a team. That's about as good as it gets right there, folks. That's a championship squad I've ever seen one. Wow.
I see a slow starter team.
A slow starter team.
I see
someone there needs to be a leadership thing that has to occur. Your team is weak on that side of things. They have no mental fortitude.
I see a pot of boiling water that is not on the burn anymore, and it just slowly fizzles out into nothing.
What?
That's what I see.
Unreal. Your team
That's rough, Josh. That's rough. I do feel bad for you in 2 years when your team is just not there anymore.
Oh my goodness. Unbelievable.
Well, he's depending on individual plays instead of the team dynamic. That's really where it's going wrong.
No. This team we got a bunch of literal geniuses on here. Winners. A BZ Celium winner. Standy first year winner. Dashy MVP performance. Kleenex winner. Skies talent above all. Good vibes. Fantastic AR. And then Pred. He's my lottery ticket. He could be the next Simp.
You had to pause there. He's
my lottery ticket. Things we'll have to see. So we'll see what happens.
Cool,
Obviously, we'll put up a little poll probably on the Best of 3 Pod Twitter. So BO3 Pod on Twitter. Follow that. We'll put up a poll. You can vote and see who's got the best team.
Wonder who'll win that.
Exactly, because I've got the best team. Let's go, baby. So now the next segment is our, we're going to have some fun here answering some interesting, spicy questions, going against each other and vibing together. So without further ado, boys, let's hit it. Let's get into this 8-ball segment. Let's go.
How about a magic trick?
All right, I am hyped for this, baby. This is going to be a fun time. So again, why we're calling this the 8-ball segment is for you YouTube watchers out there, because we got an 8-ball, all right? Look at this, baby. We're rocking and roll. We got a magic 8-ball, and he's going to reveal the answers for us in this segment. These are long awaited. These are the questions that all COD players ask themselves. And we're going to be debating them today, and we're going to be awarded points if the 8-ball agrees with us, all right? So Amari, make sure you're keeping track of the point totals here. That'd be great. And we'll rock and roll from there. So we have 7 questions. And you can earn points on all of them. 1 point for agreeing with the 8-ball, 1 point, or that's how it works. 1 point for agreeing with the 8-ball. So first question here today is, are jetpacks objectively better for competitive COD than boots on the ground?
Yes.
I think for an entertainment standpoint, yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Sam?
So here we go. Whether you agree or disagree here with competitive, like strictly team versus team, or competitively as in the essence, the league as a whole. That's where that's where you should be kind of thinking here, because
You're just saying the essence, the league of the whole as a whole.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
you like, I want
Are
this
they
league
better
to,
for the CDL, or are they better?
yeah, but I think that you can frame it as in Jetpacks is better for competitive because Jetpacks brings in more vibes, more.
I don't know about that. That was a horrible start to the argument.
It brings in way better plays. It brings in better viewership.
100%.
Everything, man.
I totally
It
agree.
also has the best game mode that we have ever seen. Uplink.
Of course,
For sure.
it has to come out.
That's 100% though. He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
I am right in that the fact is that Jetpacks are objectively better for competitive.
I definitely don't agree with this, and that's why this question's here, because we need to disagree for this to be a show, or for this to be a segment. I don't think it's objectively better. It comes down to each game individually, so I would
Also
definitely
skill gap.
say no.
Well, hold on,
Because-
Josh, do you watch golf?
Do I? Yes, of course. I played golf in high school. I love golf.
All right, well, that explains it.
I thought that was going to go somewhere. It's just like, what? Wait. Shit is going to riot. Here's this.
Oh, that was good. Okay, well, fair
do you
play. I
watch
mean, what can I say? I guess he got me. I mean, I don't know. No, I love COD World War II, best COD of all time. Like, no, I mean, like for me, it just straight up comes down to the game. It's not about the jetpacks. It's not about anything else. It's about the game and how that game specifically plays. Like, BO2 is better than any. BO2 is better for competitive COD than any jetpacks game.
Wrong.
I disagree though.
No, facts, guaranteed.
You could not get
No.
like a
BO4 was
BO2 today
infinitely better
versus
than
a
Infinite Warfare.
BO3 today. BO3 is
BO4
gonna be better.
was
BO2
infinitely better for competitive COD than
placed.
IW was.
BO2 was placed in a good position. If BO2 came out today, it would not garner the same
I
love
get
that
people like
That Black Ops
BO4.
3 or Advanced Warfare got 100%.
Like I
Even
get
IW.
people don't like BO4, like when it comes to like S&D or whatever, like in like the stim shot stuff is unfortunate, but like IW had huge flaws too. And like BO4, in my opinion, was better for competitive COD than IW. Not either, but it wasn't a perfect game by any means. But that's why like kind of where I'm at with it. So
I liked playing IW. I did.
I mean,
didn't- I
it
just
wasn't
hated it.
like competitively, it wasn't like the worst thing ever. But
like BO3 is a goated COD. It's an S tier COD for sure. I agree with you there. We're gonna disagree on AW, but we can agree on
is
BO3.
an S tier. That's for sure.
AW is so fun.
Oh, it was so fine too.
It's
Like,
so bad.
as in like it looked good.
Yeah.
So what does 8-Ball say?
Yeah.
Okay, well, the 8-Ball is a deep thinker. He knows. Like he only provides
He's like
facts.
shake it like
needs a-
5 times, like
he
every
needs a-
time.
I make
changing
sure
it.
this is not. I haven't turned it. You guys can see this on chat.
Yeah.
It says, "My sources say no." I had to know if the jet. So it agrees with me.
Ugh.
Nobody got to see this.
Well, I
answer.
can't. It doesn't show on the because
Yeah,
it
it's
doesn't show
hard.
up there. It's kind of hard.
Oh,
to
I guess
see.
we'll
I
have
see.
to. I guess we'll have to agree with, or have
Can you
to
trust
believe
me?
you.
Can you trust me?
Yeah.
Does the 8-Ball trust you?
Does the 8-Ball trust me?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yes, he does.
Oh
Look
my
at that.
gosh, that's so dumb.
Wow, dude, this 8-Ball and me are such good friends. I knew I treated him well.
You shook him well.
Okay, so I guess I got 1 point on the board then. So we'll see what happens.
Yes.
All right. So next question is S&D should require 1 sniper on each team every round. I don't even know where we stand on this. I don't know if we
I don't really know either, but I think it's an interesting perspective to take. Like we'll just like toss out the whole like whether snipers should be G8'd or not or whatever. Assume that snipers are allowed. Requiring 1 player to run a
No
sniper
more,
on
no
each
less.
team. I don't like, I think that'll add a lot of entertainment value. And I think it could completely change how S&D would be played. But when you get like on a small map, like maybe things get more.
That's true. Well, I mean, like
weird.
it is a tough question.
Gun runner, and you could play a sniper on that.
Well,
if both
it's a
teams
weird
are doing
question.
it.
Oh, and look at what gameplay we got. We got Piccadilly gameplay. Things you love to see.
Maybe this question should have been like set classes.
Yeah, so you could say like.
Well, that's kind of the next question, I guess. Maybe, well, sort of.
Well, let's alter this to change. So like in respawns, teams are required to run 2 subs and 2 ARs. Like you cannot have 3 subs in an AR. They're required to run like their specific classes, much like you see with other games where like, there's a specific, role or an Overwatch tank, DPS or support.
More than likely, probably all of us are
ARs.
going to agree with no one. Are you going to say yes?
I think it would be fun.
Someone should say yes. I want to say no.
Okay, so when it comes to snipers specifically,
I'm the snipers.
I'm not opposed to the idea. Like if this was going to happen, I'd be like, I'm down.
Get a player who's just like that. That's all they do is snipe or whatever. Like they're just really, really good at that one thing.
It'd be kind of fun for S&Ds. I mean, like that would be pretty fun.
I think it adds a new layer to it. Honestly,
I'm not opposed to it, but are any of you down for it? Like, would you say yes? I'd prefer it.
I think I'd prefer it.
I'll say no.
I think I'd prefer it. I think it'd be really fun.
Yeah, but we can just change to that. Would you prefer it? And then if the 8-ball prefers it, then that is the yes. I'm gonna lean no, but I'm very close. That's on the fence one. So here we go. The 8-ball and his wisdom says, oh, he's on the fence too. He says, ask again later. Oh my word!
Wow.
No points for anybody. I guess no points for anybody.
I'm over 2.
Wow, that is insane. Things you hate. See, I didn't even realize that he could do that. So, I guess if you really want to take your shot and say that he's gonna be on the fence, which I almost did, then I guess you go that route. So, okay, so the next question it's kind of on a similar line. That's why they're back-to-back questions. Is GAs? It's just a statement. GAs shouldn't exist. Yes or no?
It's a tough one. That's a tough one.
I'm going to say, here's where I'm going to go. I'm going to say GA shouldn't exist because I think it'll push, inevitably push. You know what? Never mind. I don't know. Here's my thinking. It's because I think you can push the developer to like make those changes, right?
Well, it is kind of a weird question. It's like,
however, because Call of Duty's on a 1-year cycle, which is we're gonna get into later too. Like I'm kind of stumped here.
Well, I mean, like, it's like an existential question. Like in an ideal world, they don't exist, but like, are they kind of a necessary evil right now? Sort of.
I feel like the GA question could almost be answered with role locks.
Role locks?
Where like you have 2 ARs, 2 subs, kind of like we were talking about before.
Set classes.
Set classes. Like, so like when they go in, like that's all they play. Like they are a sub player.
It is in the same line of thinking.
So it's not like, when the MP5 was overpowered, you could shoot 5 miles away. Not everybody just uses that because that's the best gun. It's like only 2 people are allowed to use it.
Should there have been set classes in Black Ops Cold War? Or let's say, would set classes have been better than what we ended up getting? Let's go that question.
It's also a tough question. Because then you're like limiting creativity. That's what GAs are doing as well. Because like no one is out there like creating like some sort of like new
crazy setup,
new way of like making this gun that works for specifically them because COD just isn't formulated that way.
Not the pros, at least. Yeah.
So I almost feel like they should just have, leave it how it is. Actually, don't like let people create their own classes. Maybe one day we'll have like a legend.
I'm just not a fan of the 10 attachments, man. Like, it should just be like 2 attachments per gun.
Let's leave it to Cold War. So should set classes have existed in Cold War?
Yes.
Rex says no.
No.
I think I say yes. I think I would have preferred having set classes. I think it would have been overall better and simpler for the scene.
It makes things
and
easier.
The all
it makes
wisdom 8 ball says signs point to yes.
Yes, one on the board.
Signs point to yes. The 8 ball is with us. Wow, who'd have thought?
Hey,
What a guy.
actually, you 0 for 3 right now?
Yeah, I've lost every single one.
Jeez, bro.
things. Yeah, that's tough.
That's rough.
This is rigged. It feels rigged. I need to lose one on purpose here. Okay, this is an interesting one. This is the next question. Is this Scump's last season competing in Call of Duty? I guess I kind of answered it earlier. I said that a little bit ago. I think this might be. I'm leaning towards yes.
I think it 100% will be.
I think it is too, unless Vanguard completely shocks us and like it becomes, better than we think it's gonna be.
Yeah,
But
well, I mean,
Even
Modern
if
Warfare
he wins,
2. Oh, we didn't talk about that in the news in the news, but the rumors of Modern Warfare 2 too.
let's say that he does win champs. Wouldn't that maybe even be more of a thing where he just retires on top?
Walk off in the sunset.
I think
Yeah.
so, unless for some odd reason he finds like a newfound passion and love for COD like he did back in Black Ops 2.
I mean, I think you see him streaming with Tim, right? Tim and Doc and all them. And
Oh, I mean, yeah, those guys would welcome him with open arms.
for sure. I think he
Yeah.
might enjoy that more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. It feels like we got to make use of Scump while we got him here and really, really capitalize this year with the CDL and convert fans to being followers of other players and those things. It's gonna be big for the CDL. All right, well, I guess we're all on the same page here. So no leaderboard points on the board, but let's see what happens here. Oh my word! Concentrate and ask again.
Oh my gosh. How many
What
on the
is happening?
fence? It sounds
Yeah.
like you. Just a fence
Apparently,
sitter.
the 8 ball is just a fence
Mhm.
sitter. Who'd have thought?
Jeez.
Maybe the 8 ball. He's just a deep thinking guy. He just needs a lot of time to think about it. Sometimes it's tough and it's hard to see people's futures like Scump. So sometimes the 8 ball's just gotta keep people guessing a little bit.
Be
But
super vague about everything.
he is vague. All right. Well, this is an interesting question. Control should be the third game mode in COD Vanguard.
No.
Well,
Rex
what
says
else would
no,
the game
or
mode
Sam
be?
says no.
No.
DTF, something else.
DTF.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a huge fan of Control. Not a huge fan of Dom either.
Are you a fan of CTF?
If it's done right.
Here's where I want to see a CTF.
So then what do you think?
Here's what I want to see with CTF. I've talked about it before. I have. But you change the end game to be if you're able to completely swing the last second where you can keep capping flags. How
Yeah, if you're holding a flag, the timer doesn't end.
exactly, because
Like
The
in
best-
Control.
the best game modes are the ones that aren't over until it is over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk about it.
Like-
Halo. I'm going to talk about Halo.
Oh
Strongholds
no.
is phenomenal. It's basically three hills.
Yeah.
And you only get points if you hold two or more.
Okay. Yeah.
So you could literally get to 99 points and still lose because you lost.
Be a long game.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it's fun. and it has happened. It's literally happened before. So it's
Wow.
how in Dom it was so boring because
Yeah.
it'd
Well,
be
either.
over.
Well, there's two reasons.
Well,
CTF
the same thing could be said for Dom, though, right? I mean, I guess you'd
that's what I'm
want
saying.
Yeah, but Dom
Dom.
sucks.
Dom's terrible. But what I'm saying is like CTF should implement that change.
CTF needs to have if you get to an X amount of caps, it's over rule.
True.
And B, if you can rally forever.
Yes.
Like if you get to 5, it's over. You
Yes.
end it.
Yes.
But if
I agree.
if you're down 4-0 with 1 second left and you can rally the
You
flags,
can rally the flags. If you are
Then you
literally
could-
able to control the map that well
for
in the
4
last
straight
second,
caps, you should be able to
deserve
win.
to win. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree. And tiebreakers should have 1 flag in the middle, and whoever gets it, I don't know how it should work. Whoever gets it closer to their base, or it's like a hard point situation. You just play hard point, and it's a 1 hill hard point. for overtime, and that's what it is. Like there
You
needs
just have to capture the neutral flag.
Yeah, like or
for
like
a certain amount
it's
of
just a
time.
hard point zone. There needs to be some sort of like neutral way to play hard point, like some sort of overtime rules. Because I mean, there was literally in World War II when I was reffing like the open bracket and stuff. Like
So
there was multiple times where they tied in overtime of CTF 0-0-0-0, and then they had to replay the CTF map.
The whole thing.
Like, kill me now. Like, it was literally like a 30-minute game of CTF, basically. Like,
Yeah,
so
like
that cannot
shouldn't
happen, you know?
That shouldn't happen.
No. So I'm going to go, long story short, though, I actually think control should be the game mode as long as we have smokes, and this game should have good smokes. Therefore, I'll say yes. So control should be the game mode for competitive COD. Rex, where you at?
The no from me.
no.
Alrighty, Magic 8 Ball. What's he thinking this time? Don't be a fence sitter. Let's see what happens.
Shoot that ball, baby.
It said concentrate and ask again later, bro.
Oh my god.
I'm not going to allow this. The 8 Ball will not be a fence sitter today. It says it is decidedly so. Is that a yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It is decidedly so.
It
That's a
is going
yes.
to be the third game mode.
Oh my word. The 8 Ball, I must have treated him really well today. He is very kind.
We
This
need
is rigged.
We
Yeah,
need a black.
we need an 8 Ball
We need
cam,
an 8-ball
dude.
cam.
Oh no, this is a problem.
You need to buy
I
a
should just like
GoPro
turn it
just for 8 Ball.
downwards so that people can see it. Yeah, this feels really rigged. I'm sorry, boys. Well, what's the score right now?
Shock
4-0?
segment.
I have 0 points.
Classic.
Well, this is okay. The next ones are worth 2 points each.
0 points.
The last 3 are worth 2 points. No, the last 4 are worth.
Josh is 5-0.
The last 2 are worth 3 points each, so Rex could still win, baby.
Jeez.
Let's go. All right, Rex.
All right, time for the comeback.
What's the score update right now? What is the scores?
I have 0. You have
4-1-0?
5.
I have 1.
Oh, I thought
Okay,
you
yeah,
had
it's
5.
4-1-0. So okay. All right, last ones are worth 3 points here. So Rex is still in it, baby. In the future, we will look back at COD franchising, so the CDL, as a negative for competitive COD. So far, before you get a quick answer, I mean, I think we have to give the CDL a little bit of like a pass because of COVID. I mean, we've had like
It was a rough
5
start.
LAN events so far in 2 years. It's a tough start overall, and it definitely halted the CDL expansions and all of that stuff. So in a long-term perspective, in the future, will we look back on franchising as a negative for competitive COD? What do you think?
Yeah, it's a hard one, man. Because you're right. We started off on just a bad
Horrible
foot
foot.
with a worldwide pandemic. I mean,
Yeah.
geez. I'm gonna go the route and say I think there is still time, or like there's still room to be like for it to be an amazingly
Even
like,
better.
like a fantastically structured thing. And I think it's a good thing that we do have some sort of franchising where we can create these areas, these teams where we can like start to like
Yeah.
have fans locally, but then at the same time have like a worldwide still view of, you know, you can really like you can cheer for anyone.
Yeah.
We're gonna have multiple countries, multiple regions. So I think in the long run, we're going to look back and say that this was a good thing. I think right now it's hard to say that.
Right.
Though,
I mean,
with-
the thing
with how
saying
it's
that
gone.
though is that you're losing the bet right now. Like I would
Yes.
say the average fan would definitely say no. Like
Yes.
this is a negative so far.
I'm going to be
Yeah.
optimistic.
Rex, where you at with it?
I think in the long
Wait,
run.
actually, before you answer, I'm going to answer in case you want to win. I'm also saying no, that in the long term, this will be positive.
Well, I think in the long term, I think it's going to end up. I think it's the only way forward when it comes to competitive COD. I don't even think to have COD even progress, even have a chance to progress. I think franchising was the only option. Otherwise, it would have stayed, stagnant, maybe a little bit of growth here and there, and eventually it would just die out because there's no company backing. So I think
Interesting. Okay, so you're agreeing with me then.
I think yeah.
That's a shame, Rex. That's way too honest of you.
It is too honest. You can't win.
That's
It's
sad.
horrible.
All right, there you go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go, baby. Okay, is he the biggest fence sitter of all time? Better not tell you now. There's another way to say you're on the fence.
Worst segment of all time.
Oh my word. We're going one more time, baby. We're going one more time.
It's not a good sign if that's the answer, I feel like.
Oh, you can rely on it. Oh, interesting. Wait, so that means it will be a negative.
It says it will
wrong.
be a negative.
Wow.
Well, here's the thing.
The
So
8-ball of
far,
wisdom.
it has been a negative. We don't know what it's going to look like, but I don't think we really like. There was no choice in the matter. Like it had to have. Like you had to take that chance eventually.
I can see what you're saying. That's interesting, actually. Yeah, no, I mean that's fair. All right, our last one here. Call of Duty eventually needs one Call of Duty game as the competitive COD game to survive in the long term.
I want to say yes. However, there is something to be said about like Call of Duty doing this. Like this is Call of Duty's thing. This is
Right.
like what we've grown to expect. And it's also like, is it too late in the game to try to like have like a legacy Call of Duty where it's like one iteration? Is it too late for that kind of thing?
Yeah. I wouldn't even want one COD because what if it's the wrong one COD?
But it's just so messy too with like Warzone. It just throws a wrench because it's like that's like one COD.
Yeah.
But it's just different maps.
Right.
You know?
I mean, that's the thing though, is like if done the right way, it should be a yes.
But it's a COD mobile.
Because COD Mobile, you'll have all the unbelievable maps. You'll have the favorite guns. You'll have the favorite score streaks. You'll have a ranked play from the beginning. You know, all of these things. And they'll update it consistently. Like you'll do like what CS does and you'll sub in maps for each season. So you might have a whole, like a very different map set, but they'll all be legacy maps from COD history. And then like, you know, the biggest thing is agreeing on a good gameplay system that everyone likes.
Yeah.
And Warzone found that works for Warzone. And now they're sticking with it, which is, you know, debatably what COD should have done probably years ago. But you know, there is a fun aspect of like having boots on the ground 1 year and then having jetpacks and having World War II and then having BO4 and, you know, so there is that. I don't know. I would lean no. I would lean no that you don't need a one Call of Duty game. But the eventually word in this question is interesting. Eventually, does COD need one game? Maybe, probably. So I guess that's why I kind of. What are thoughts? How do you feel about the eventually side of the question here?
I think there does. Like it's just going to be a massive game, similar to maybe how Halo Master Chief Collection is.
Yeah.
Where it's like you there's different CODs within the competitive system, so it's just like a huge map pool, huge range of weapons to use. Maybe cut some of those out. But I think it does eventually need to be one thing.
Interesting. Sam?
I'm going to say no. Just for, I think this is part of Call of Duty's DNA is a new iteration every year. And I think
it's just like thinking 10 years in the future is like kind of intimidating.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to just take a different route because I think it could be beneficial to do one, but at the same time, maybe Call of Duty's flavor, maybe Call of Duty's DNA is doing a bunch of iterations and maybe even two. Yeah, like maybe it's every 2 to 3 years instead of every.
That is, I would like maybe more. It's like every 5 years or whatever, there's a new COD.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
But as long as the first COD is like expansive, like I would not want to play Cold War for 5 years.
Yeah, no, it has to be the right game. Like,
it has to be
BO3,
big.
I could have played for 5 years. So it just comes down to the game. I agree with you. So, all right, here we go. The Magic 8-Ball of Wisdom. Let's see what he's got to say. And here we go. Oh, come on, turn over. There you go.
I think the reality.
He says yes, definitely. He agrees with Rex.
Nice. 3 points.
Rex is, and Sam finishes in last.
I think the reality is eventually we're going to get to a point like a VR sort of like
A VR world.
A VR world. And Call of Duty is, I think, going to be able to keep pace up until that point where eventually we're playing, COD in virtual reality.
That would be
and you get competitive and like that would be so wouldn't that be so almost fun to watch?
I mean, there will be a crazy time when that ends up being the case. Yeah, it'll be crazy. It'll be insane. But alrighty, well there you go. There you have it. I guess I won. It's rigged, but I hope you guys enjoyed that segment. I think that was a fun one. We'll definitely bring that back. That was a good time.
Let's not.
Oh. Sam's salty out here. Oh my goodness. Jeez. But speaking of intelligent and irrelevant, Sam, you're irrelevant. All right, let's get into intelligent or irrelevant. Have some fun with it. Let's go.
The ability to speak does not make you intelligent.
All righty, Sam. Hit us. What you got?
Boys, I got ratioed.
Oh, no.
I got ratioed by a controller.
Oh, no. What happened?
Things you hate to see.
Wait, what was the question?
So, true or false question, right?
Okay. It's
just
simple. It's a simple little true or false.
I thought this would just be. There's been like a lot of ongoing for the past months, keyboard and mouse versus controller, that
naturally.
kind of thing. So I thought I'd throw in maybe a spicy one. We'll see. Call of Duty, true or false? Call of Duty needs to allow keyboard and mouse players to compete to further
let's
their
see
lifespan.
what the Magic 8 Ball has to say. This is right in line with him, the wisdom.
It needs to allow keyboard and mouse players to compete to further the lifespan of the league. True or false?
You may rely on it.
Oh, so 8 Ball says true.
Wow, the 8 Ball is spicy today.
Yeah. So I think it's an interesting discussion though, because I think the average Call of Duty player probably say no because of how
they will say no.
Miss tweets about not having but is there something to be said where allowing keyboard and mouse players will further their lifespan or maybe grow the scene? Maybe.
Yeah. I think they will say no until their favorite streamer starts playing COD a lot and he's keyboard and mouse. Then all of a sudden people are more leaning sort of, hey, maybe you should let him play because I want to see my favorite streamer be able to do this.
Yeah, I would have said no up until I saw XQC play ranked play. And then I'm like, man, with that many people watching XQC, like,
dude, I was hoping we got into it.
We need viewers.
Man, and he would be perfect for COD. He's
toxic. It's perfect.
He's
really
not like
perfect.
Some amazing player either. So it's like so much easier.
And then he'd start grinding and he'd get into it, and all of his fans would be like casually into it too. And like, yeah, I think that'd be really good. Hopefully this next one, that's why we need a good rank play, man. I mean, XQC could get into it, But we'll
cross
see.
My fingers.
I'm going to say I'm going to go with eventually, yes. I think eventually we need to allow keyboard and mouse, but it has to be the right time. And now it's not the right time.
Yeah.
So I'll vote true.
Also, the people are going to say, obviously, say no.
Yeah. So I'll vote true. And sure enough, 86.8% of 200.
Wow.
So 212 votes, 86% say false. So
get bodied.
But 13% say true. So
they're irrelevant.
So some notable comments. Ratioed by a controller got 13 likes.
Wait, who did that?
That was by Sparkling Nacho.
Oh, freaking Sparkling Nacho.
So props to you. The controller got more likes than the poll.
I was in a BO2 game with him.
Desma, good man Desma. If this isn't the most lopsided poll to date, then I'd be disappointed in our community. There are plenty of mouse and keyboard esports, and I think COD will be just fine as a controller only sing. Also, shout out to Rex for beating Clay to a wedding ring.
Word.
Oh, let's go, baby. That you love to see that.
At Evo Hordes, I feel like this would just cause controversy within the community on which is a better input, which it already is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that might just, put the fire on 10 times more.
For sure.
And then last but not least, Dangled Sniper. Oh, hell nah. Plenty of other keyboard and mouse esports. Not that many controller ones left, which is true.
All right. Fair play. So, interesting.
I think it'll be interesting because I think you're starting to see like Halo, for sure Overwatch.
Yeah, Halo will be the real experiment.
So we'll see how it works out. I know it's pretty much keyboard versus mouse, or keyboard and mouse versus controller versus aim and
That is interesting,
whatnot.
actually.
But we'll see.
Yeah, that was good.
I'm
that was
here
really
for
good.
it.
I am. Boys, what are you watching this week? What's going on? How y'all doing? Rex, what have you been watching with the wife?
So let me try and think here. Been watching Shameless a lot.
Okay, still rocking with that.
The Squid Game.
I finished Squid Game.
Ted Lasso, and there was a show called The Servant, which is really good. But
Okay.
I want to talk about video games.
Oh,
There is a video game that I don't think got enough recognition from people. It's called Humankind: The Ancestor Odyssey. It's on Steam. Check it out. I think it's super, super fun. Single player.
okay. Wait. Okay, interesting. I've never heard of it.
You just basically go, like, you start out as like, an early hominid, like however many million years ago. And it doesn't really give you a lot of direction, but you start figuring out how to use different things as tools and what to eat, how to know what's bad to eat, how to do different things. But it never explicitly tells you the controls on how to do any of that. You just kind of have to figure it out on your own. And there's other skill trees and stuff that you kind of build.
I remember watching somebody play this game at some point.
It's actually really fun. It's really
Was I watching?
fun.
Did you ever stream this?
No, I just got it
okay.
a few days ago, but
I can't remember who I was watching.
yeah, it's great.
Crazy. Well, Sam, what have you been watching?
Well, I just finished Squid Game, so
Okay, I haven't
phenomenal.
watched it. I mean, everyone's been talking about it. You know me and dubbed over shows and subtitles. I hate that crap.
I know. Yeah. So I actually watched it in the original Korean and
Good.
then had the English subtitles. It just adds way more emotion.
It's way better.
way better emotion.
Yeah.
But highly worth it. Also, I just started The Witcher too. So
Oh, yeah.
nice.
Really? You hadn't watched The Witcher?
I was kind of
Really?
holding off, but
I'm surprised. That's right up your alley.
I know I played through the third game, and so it's kind of interesting to see how they kind of take it. And
Definitely. It's
but
good.
yeah, so far so good.
So I've been watching. I'm not done with it yet, but Midnight Mass, the new show on Netflix, the kind of horror show, came out. Their makers of Haunting. They made Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, really?
Really?
Those creators?
Yeah. And
Is
Nice.
like the same actors too?
a few of them. Yeah,
Okay.
a few of them. But it's terrifying. It's definitely good. Like when it comes to horror shows, it's about as good as it gets. It's been really, really good
Midnight
so far.
Mass. Oh, that's all.
Yeah. I've been enjoying it, and it's freaky. It's cool.
Good. I should check that out.
Well,
Yeah,
I loved Haunted Hill House, and then also what was the other one?
Bly Manor.
Bly Manor. That was great
that was a
too.
good one.
Wait,
yeah.
Rex, have you watched Haunting of Hill House?
I didn't watch the first one, but I watched the Bly Manor one.
Oh, you gotta watch Hill
Haunting of Hill
House,
House is
bro.
better than Bly Manor.
It's for sure.
I liked
It
Bly
is.
Manor a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And I did too. But
Mhm.
Haunting of Hill House was, it's...
If you guys like scary stuff like that, check out The Servant on Apple TV.
Okay.
I think
All
you
right.
guys will like that.
I don't have Apple TV.
You haven't
It's a
watched Ted
problem.
Lasso?
No, I told you this. I haven't watched Ted Lasso.
Oh man, Ted Lasso is
I mean,
right
it
up
won
your
every
alley.
freaking award of the world this year. I mean,
It's like sports. It's
oh yeah.
it's
I mean,
you.
I know I would like it, but I never got
What if I
around to
don't
it.
care about sport?
I mean, I like it, and I'm not a big sports guy, so
Oh. That's good.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, there you go, boys and girls. That was the pod. Things you love to see. We're back in action with the trio, the best of three. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Drop those comments down below. That 5-star review. We need some 5-star reviews to read on the pod. So drop them down below. Drop them on Apple Podcasts, and we appreciate
Spare a
that.
penny.
And we appreciate
Penny
all
for
you
your
guys for
thoughts.
tuning in, enjoying the off-season vibes, a little bit more low-key, having a good time. And I thought it was a fun episode. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Show if you guys really enjoyed it. We appreciate you guys. But as always, guys, I'm Josh SalvationsElite. To my right was BashMan3. To our farthest right, per usual, was Rex Shady Nero. Of course, the all-star producer, Amari. And guys, we will see you next
shout out, bro.
time. We out.